dark days, overwhelmed, trapped in a maze. Small business owner, stress had me in a daze. Every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling stuck, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. With the support of our success group, we're taking flight. The power is strong, the vision's so clear. Building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force. With our success group.
Let's talk some business.
All right, welcome in Small Business Rockstars. Welcome to Small Business Saturdays. I'm Aaron, and as you notice, I'm all by myself today. My amazing wife, Kylene, is not joining me right now. I am in a hotel room in Indianapolis, Indiana, here at the Graphics Pro Expo. So this is actually Friday, just a little secret for everybody. This is actually Friday. I'm recording right now, and you will see this on Saturday because I will be in the middle of a presentation here in Indianapolis. And so I wanted to make sure that we brought this to you because of our technical difficulties, the challenges we had last week. We weren't able to talk about mastering the uncommon mindset. I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to say, hey, take a moment, do me a favor. I could use all the help we could get here with everybody that is tuned in right now. Get out there and share this. I know this is recorded, but I will go in and check out all of the comments and reply to as many of them as I can. And so if you would share this with your network, let's get some more people here listening to Small Business Saturdays and joining in the conversation, because the more perspective we have, the better off we are going to do. The mission of our success group is to cultivate an uncommon mindset. And when we came off of the 10-week, 10 steps, right? We had 10 areas that we can use to build a business that we love. You're going to be able to drastically improve your business. But I think a lot of people might be looking at those 10 steps and going, okay, what's next? Right? So that's what we're going to get in today. How do we master this uncommon mindset? What's next? All right. Well, there you go. There it is right here. Go to liveosg.com. That will take you to our YouTube channel. Please make sure that you're subscribed. Please make sure that you share it with somebody. Please make sure that we let's get some more people into the OSG community. This not only helps me, and I appreciate that very much, it helps the entire OSG community, you involved, because the more minds we have together, the better off we're going to be. So the other thing I want to do before we get started is I just want to set some intention here. So this is what I'm hoping, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Is this something that you took from it? But my hope is that you guys kind of can see the path, see the overall path that I see as a way to build a business that we love. And it is really through these uncommon mindsets. I want you guys to think about how this relates to your business. I know some of the things that we're talking about might seem kind of big and woo-woo and whatever adjective you want to put to that. But the thing that I hope to get across to you is that regardless of what the idea is, take this stuff and put it into action, right? Even if it seems like, I don't really know, try it. Act as if, see, could this possibly work for me? And here's the deal. The more action you take, the more you utilize this information, the easier that action is going to get each and every time. So the first thing we have to understand when we're trying to master the uncommon mindset is, well, what the heck is the uncommon mindset, Aaron? And here's the deal. Common mindset brings common results. Okay, so let's start there. Common mindset, common results. Uncommon mindset, uncommon results. So that common mindset that brings the common result, well, that common result is also going to show us a sad statistic, right? And here it is, that only 48.9% of small businesses last past 5 years, and this is according to the U.S. Small Business Administration. So you can find different stats in different places. I've heard everything as large as 85% and even higher, but at least 48.9%, almost half of all small businesses, common, right, don't last past 5 years. Now, if you also look at the stats that there's 33.3 million small businesses in the United States, that means that over 16 million business owners will become the victim of the common mindset. 60% of small businesses started their business to be their own boss, so they can live their life on their terms. The number of new small businesses has actually doubled since 1982. And another stat that the SBA shared is that 70% fail or quit before year 10. And most of that is due to cash flow and that common mindset of trading dollars for hours. And so those businesses, they're making sales, but they can't maintain due to the common mindset. So in my opinion, the uncommon mindset is the only way to get uncommon results. So let's take a look at those. So I have up on screen for you now a list of 13 uncommon mindsets. These all go along with the book, The Fundamentals of Business Success, and the 13 fundamentals. They're more than just 13, but these are a great place to start and really are going to encompass everything that we talked about in that previous 10-week series. So the first one that we're going to look at here is the common mindset that goes along with empowering yourself. And typically it's common for us to blame the circumstances, blame other people. I couldn't do this because nobody in my town will pay that. Somebody came in and started a business, right? There's always some external circumstance that causes us to not succeed. The uncommon mindset is to instead take 100% responsibility for your outcomes. Yes, I know that seems like a lot, but if you could just take, let's say, 5% more responsibility for your own success, how would you change the actions that you're taking in the way that you're doing things, right? If you're willing to say, okay, I'm 100% responsible for my outcomes, then it allows you to actually get value out of the things that happen to you that don't seem to be very much in your favor, for example. And what happens is we can say, okay, this thing happened, good, bad, indifferent, regardless of the labels. This thing happened. And if I just go, oh, that's somebody else's fault, I'm giving away my power. I'm just handing my power over to whoever or whatever circumstance I'm blaming. But if I were to say, okay, yes, I understand, not good, ugh. But as soon as you get from that ugh part, now you can say, hey, how did I create, promote, or allow this? And therefore, I can make adjustments, make changes so I no longer create, promote, or allow that thing to happen to me. So that's number one. Number two is clarify your reason. And the common mindset is to say, yep, I got into this business to make money. Absolutely. Great byproduct. I got into this business to support my family. Awesome. Absolutely. Great byproduct. The uncommon mindset is to align your business with your why, so that way you have true fulfillment, right? So you might think of a why as your passion. Right? What are your strengths? What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you love doing? And then when you get into that difficult position, your passion is going to carry you through that difficult area and you'll feel more aligned, more fulfilled. You'll get more done. And then the byproducts that we talked about, making money and being able to provide for your family, will just start happening more naturally. Number three is reignite self-trust. The common mindset is to struggle with doubt and imposter syndrome. And yes, I'm staring directly in the mirror as I say this stuff in this regard for sure. And I've had that, right? The doubt, the imposter syndrome, why me, that type of thing. But the uncommon mindset is that we build mental strength and we believe in our own success, believe in your success, as you see on screen there. And all that means is going, you know what? I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to be so proud of what I do that I'm going to believe it's possible. And then as soon as I believe it's possible, that's when it'll finally start happening. And so that mental strength, affirmations, surrounding yourself with better people, more positive people, being a part of a mastermind group that will lift you up and say, it's okay, let's find a solution, right? Those are the things that you can do to reignite self-trust. Number four is to be a goal getter, right? The common mindset is we set these broad goals. I have these aspirations and dreams, but, oh, I can't tell anybody about it because then they'll have to ask me about it later and I won't have gotten it done and I won't know what to say, right? Well, the uncommon mindset that we need as small business owners is we need to focus on one specific goal. That doesn't mean you can't do multiple things, but what's the most important thing? We're always making the most important thing the most important thing. And then we're going to share that goal with as many people as we possibly can, because the more people we share it with, the more support, the more encouragement, the more accountability we're going to have moving forward. Number 5 is to value relationships. The common mindset is to view relationships, employees, for example, or other people that are in your circles as a transaction, right? What can I get out of this? What's my transaction that I'm going to be able to get, right? Okay, I have to give them a paycheck, but I'm going to work them so hard that I really feel good about giving them that paycheck. That's a transaction, right? The uncommon mindset is success actually thrives on meaningful connections, not what the transaction is for you, but how can you impact each other's lives? How can you lift them up? And the more we give, the more we get, right? But we have to give without the expectation of getting. And that's how you build those relationships. I think people kind of run across me and don't really know what to do with me because I want to give so much without any expectation of return. I try to, right? There are times where I fall back into that trap. Oh, well, that person's not doing anything for me. Doesn't matter, right? But they don't know what to do with me because they're not expecting that, right? And it's uncommon for people to not have an ulterior motive. But the second you start valuing those relationships, when the moments that I've started really valuing the relationships over the transactions, that's when opportunities have arisen. That's when things have started to be more and more successful the more we do that. Okay, moving on to number 6, know your customers, right? The common mindset is that my customer is anybody that's got money in their wallet, right? That's who my customer is. Who's your ideal customer? Oh, they've got money in their wallet. I'm going to go squeeze that money out of them, right? Well, the uncommon mindset that we need to adopt is your ideal customer is very specific. They're aligned with your values. You know them intimately, so you know how to connect with them. And you spend a lot of time really trying to figure out exactly who they are, as well as figuring out how their needs change, right? Because you're so close to them, you're so aligned with them that you're able to understand when their needs change, and you can make those shifts when those shifts need to happen. The 7th uncommon mindset we need to look at is to know your cost, right? The common mindset, the thing I see out there in the Facebook groups all the time is, how much should I charge for this, right? And you're really just trying to match your competitors' prices. And honestly, it comes from the fact that you don't know your own costs a lot of times. I'm not saying that as a blanket statement per se, but more often than not, that's why. Because why would you need to know what somebody else charges if you know what your costs are and you know what you need to make and you know who your ideal customers are and what they're willing to pay, right? Like what somebody else charges for it makes no difference on what you charge for it, right? So the uncommon mindset is that we do take that extra time to know our costs, right? They're working on our business. And a lot of these uncommon mindsets really do boil back down to that: work on your business, not always in it. And I know people say, well, I don't have time for that, Aaron, right? And that's a big thing. I don't have time. Here's the deal. The opposite of that is true. You don't have time not to do this. The thing that got you to this point where you don't have time is that you didn't create a foundation that was going to get you to where you need to go. So this is much more smooth and operating on its own. But once you know your costs, it's super easy to price, and you then develop a pricing strategy that works for you. All right. Number 8, going along with working on our business, we need to create some systems. The common mindset is, well, I'm just a small business. I'm just going to grind harder. I'm going to achieve more. I'm just going to wing it. Right. Well, okay. Got it. Noted. Love that about small businesses. Heck, I'm a grinder. I love getting after it. And sometimes, yeah, just taking the action is great. But for long-term sustainable success, we need to slow down to speed up. The uncommon mindset is we need to slow down, build systems, and eliminate unnecessary actions. Right. When we're trying to do everything because we're just grinding, we don't really have a system or a process. Guess what? We end up spending more time than if we were to stop, take a little extra time on this foundation and create a system for as many things as you can create a system for as often as you can. Okay. Number 9, conquer fear. So the common mindset, the human nature is, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. This is nice. It's comfortable. I don't have to tell anybody about my business. I can keep it super secret. And that way, when I fail, I go back to the common mindset of, I'm going to blame circumstances. But the uncommon mindset is that we take action in spite of fear, despite fear, as you might see on the screen there. Understanding that fear is just a fantasized experience appearing real. I know there's other acronyms out there, but this is the best acronym. Fantasized experience appearing real, period. Take that action despite your fears. The 10th uncommon mindset that I think we need to look at is about focus on action, right? So the common mindset is we obsess over the end results. Okay, my goal is to make X amount of dollars and I'm not there yet. So I'm just obsessed over it. Oh my gosh, how do I get there? How do I get there? How do I get there? The uncommon mindset is that we take action without attachment to the outcome. Yes, I love setting goals. I believe in setting goals. And we need to set that goal. But the moment we set that goal, the moment we start putting the action into play, we need to let go of that outcome. Because when we're squeezed so tightly onto the outcome, adjustments can't be made. We have tunnel vision, and we might not see that, there's a path outside of this that will still get me to my goal. But I was so focused in on the end result that I didn't make that necessary change. So the idea here, the uncommon mindset, is we take action without attachment to the outcome. All right, a couple more for us, and then we'll get into the back end and how we put these uncommon mindsets into action. All right, so we need to build your team. The common mindset is you have to do it all your own. I can only count on myself. Everybody else is going to let me down. Those types of ideas, right? Well, I'm independent. I'm industrious. I'm going to do it on my own. 100%. I love it. I love the fact that you want to go out there and get after it, work hard. You can really rely on yourself. Perfect. High five to that. But the uncommon mindset we have to understand is no matter how industrious, how independent you are, success is a team sport. So we must figure out what our support system is going to be. And then here's the real trick. A lot of people say, okay, yep, I'm going to surround myself with really good people. And then they go, well, why is it not working? Well, because you're not relying on them. You're not going to them and asking for help. You're not going to them and saying, hey, I need support here, right? I'm just going to show up on the calls that I'm supposed to show up on. Okay, great. Perfect. And then the rest of the time, what's happening, right? So we have to build that success team and then rely on that team by being engaged and reaching out ourselves. All right. Number 12 here is we need to crave feedback. Right? And this is a hard one for a lot of folks. And this was a hard one for me for a long time. I don't want to hear it. It could be bad. Avoid it. Right. And that's the common mindset. We avoid feedback because we want to dodge criticism. We don't want to hear about the things that aren't working. Right. But the uncommon mindset is that we have to have feedback to make adjustments and move forward. We need to crave that feedback. We need to be actively looking for it. And then we need to know how to accept it, right? Because every piece of feedback you get does not need to be acted upon, but it does need to be accepted and acknowledged. So take in as much feedback as you can. It's awesome. The more you're willing to take in feedback, the more feedback you're going to get, the better your business is going to become. And your biggest critics will become your biggest fans because you listen to them, right? I know it's hard because it is going to be a little uncomfortable. You're going to have to hear something you don't want to hear. It's okay. You're going to survive, and you're actually going to be better for it if you're willing to crave feedback. And then number 13 here is to make marginal gains. The common mindset is to expect big leaps and this instant gratification, right? We talked about setting goals and then just expecting that you're there. I set the goal. Why am I not there yet? Well, yeah, because you're expecting this instant gratification. You're trying to make these big leaps and it's not sustainable. The uncommon mindset is instead focus on the small, consistent actions for lasting progress. And here's another tidbit I'm going to throw in there. If you can't make this a daily habit, it's going to always have to be intentional until you make it a daily habit. And here's the hard thing to hear, business owners, 7 days a week, right? And I'm not saying you have to work 7 days a week, 24/7. What I'm saying is, what are the habits that you need to create for yourself and do it each and every day, right? Small, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, right? For me, it's just building a habit of trying to make sure that I have reflected, I have gone to gratitude, I've gotten my mindset right Saturdays and Sundays too, right? Because honestly, when you do this right, every day is a weekend. That's really the goal for me, is I want every day to feel like a weekend because I love what I do. Normally in this moment, we would take a quick quote unquote commercial break and share something with you. But I wanted to share this link with you. If this is interesting at all to you, if you think that, man, I could maybe learn a little bit more about this, here's my offer for you, quote unquote offer. I'm going to use that in air quotes, even though you can't see me on screen right now, because this is a completely free, I call it the SVP assessment. And we take a look at your strengths, values, and passions. And then we align it with your OSG. Yeah, a little play on words there, not our success group, but outcomes, structure, and growth plan. And so it's a quick call. You actually go to this link, osg.link/thank you, and you fill out a little information. You know what? Fill out whatever you can. If you don't have a lot of time and you don't want to dig deep into it, no problem. Not going to affect our abilities together, right? We may not get quite as far, but you know what? We probably will. So who knows? Do what you can, fill in as much information as you can quickly, right? And then schedule a call with me. We're going to get on a 30-minute call and we're just going to connect. We're going to figure some things out. We're going to see where this stuff fits in. There's no sales pitch. There's no nothing. And from there, then we can say, okay, great. Here's what we need to take a look at. And from that point, then if you want to take a look at it and come up with an action plan together, totally fine. We'll schedule another separate call. We can do it like the next day, but I want you to have some time to just kind of take it in. And then we'll actually do a coaching session together. And that coaching session is going to be also completely no cost, but we're going to leave you with an action plan. You're going to have some actions that you can take to get unstuck, to move forward, to use this system to better your business. And we'll leave it at that. Right? If you want to talk about some other ways that OSG can support you, awesome. I would be honored to talk to you about that. But this is no strings attached. No, even if this is something you and I have done before, maybe you said, well, did I do this with Aaron? Maybe you're somebody, hey, maybe you're in the Masters of Success. Sign up for this anyhow, right? Like this is actually really, really useful. I've been able to do this with a couple of folks already. Mind blowing how much we were able to accomplish in a short amount of time. No homework, not adding extra things to your to-do list. We're just looking at this as a way to get aligned and do some things that, yes, might be something to do, but it's going to take things off of your to-do list because of how it will align and get your foundation built up. So those were the uncommon mindsets and just kind of a nice quick overview, some details about how we can maybe adopt that. But beyond that, then also with the help of the fundamentals, the book, the format, is we've got the fun formula, the fundamentals formula that will look at some key areas. And depending on where you're at, you might need more work here, more work there. But when we look at the fundamental formula, then we can break it down. And this is how we master those uncommon mindsets. Where do we need the most work? Where do you need the most work in your business? And again, when I say work, I'm not talking about adding extra things to your plate. I'm saying, let's work on our business so we can get things off of our plate. So let's go to work on what matters as opposed to the continued busy work that keeps us stuck where we're at. And then we can go from there. So let me share with you the fundamental formula. We're going to hit the quick overview, and then we're going to go into a few more details. And once you see that, you might see, hey, I might fit in here. I could use a little more support there. Whatever that might be, ask questions, put your comments in here. I want to hear from you guys. And like I said, I'm going to go back into the comments. Yes, this is recorded. I'm going to go back into the comments and I'm going to check it out and make sure that I respond to you. We were having a couple of great conversations over in the group, that osg.link/group. Some folks said, hey, these are the challenges I'm working on. I was so proud to be able to go in there, offer them some advice. And in fact, Julie got back to me and said it was really helpful for her. So I appreciate that, Julie. It means a lot to me that you take the time to reply. And so let's do that. You guys ready to jump into the fundamental formula? So here is the fundamental formula. And as I mentioned, it's broken up into 3 distinct sections. We've got our plant section, our prepare section, and our pollinate section. This is also how the book is broken up. But we brought them down to 3 in each area to get a little bit more clarity. So if you do this working on your business stuff right here, these simple things, you can get more of your time back, get the chaos under control, and bring that overwhelm level down to where you're falling back in love with your business. So we got clarify your reason, mindset mastery, goal getting, right? That's the plan. That's kind of our mindset. You got mindset mastery, but those other things are also really important to our mindset. What are your goals, right? Just like really clearly defining what your goals are is actually a big part of the mindset that's going to take you forward. And then we've got the prepare phase, right? Taking that goal, taking the mindset that you have, your reason for starting your business, and crafting that into a picture that will give you the push, the ideas, the inspiration to move forward. And then we take that vision and we turn it into a blueprint. No house is built without a blueprint. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm sure some houses have been. I would not personally want to live in a house that wasn't built with the blueprint, right? Could be a little janky. Same thing with your business. Why live in a business that doesn't have a blueprint? So let's make that blueprint. And then the marketing mastery. Who are your ideal customers? How are you going to serve them? How are you going to connect with them? And then from there, it's like, okay, great. I've got to feel really good about that. But how's your action? Are you taking action? Right. So the pollinate phase is really about looking at, okay, what are the actions you're going to implement and how are you going to implement them? And once you start implementing those actions, then how are you going to set up accountability? The accountability is a huge part for small business owners, especially the solopreneurs out there or folks that don't have a big, huge team around them. What's the accountability, right? Like, oh, I'm just going to stay in my PJs today. Nothing wrong with that. But your business might go, not so much, right? If your business could talk. And then lastly, your commitment to continued growth, right? If you can't continue growing, it's going to be difficult, right? And I know we get to a certain point and we're like, there's only so much more I can do. But the reality is that's not true. There's always more we can do, we could do if we wanted to, and we get to make that choice and we can grow each and every day. But there's a very specific structure and strategy for doing that. Now, if you'd like a copy of this PDF with this information on it, I'm happy to share it with you. Just reach out to me, consultaaron.com, or however you want to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook Messenger, over on LinkedIn. You can find me over there. You just about everywhere. You could probably find me and connect with me there. So let me know if you'd like a copy of this. But let's go into a little more depth here. I kind of hit the highlights, but let's talk about this a little deeper. So we'll again start in the plant section, and we want to start with clarifying your reason. This is your purpose. It's going to guide your business decisions. And here's the cool part about it is it not only guides our business decisions, but it can help us in life in general, because you're going to like pinpoint your core values and have language to that. You're going to understand a little bit better what your strengths are and your passions, what drives you. Why do you do the things you do each day? And once we have a nice foundation there, everything else builds from that. Right? And then we step into the mindset mastery. Regardless of how strong your reason is, over the course of our lives, we have had limiting beliefs that have been put on us or that we've taken on. And, let's be honest, that we've taken on is probably more true. But if it's easier to say they've been put on us, understood, right? So we need to figure out how to adopt a growth mindset. What are the tools? What are the strategies? And each person's going to be unique, right? So my wife loves yoga, and that's how she works on her mindset, right? And we're taking on more within our church and prayer. And, that's where I've really connected, really getting closer to God and really understanding how to interact and what that mindset is for me. Affirmations, just understanding when you're using language that really doesn't fit with what you're really trying to accomplish, right? The inner critic that's beating us up. So everybody's got their own unique way that they're going to go about this. Some people love tapping. Some people just need to go exercise. Like the opportunities are unlimited here. But if you don't determine what works best for you and put a plan into place to continue to go back to that, then it's just a struggle each day to try to have your best day ever. And honestly, I'd rather just put that on autopilot too, right? So make it a habit. A goal getter is different than a goal setter. Goal setters, broad, open. Goal getters, people that actually achieve their goals, they establish clear, actionable goals. And it really does give you the strong roots to grow from. Your reason is going to tell you what your goal is. Your reason will help you understand what your actual goal is, not what somebody else wants for you. But then that goal is really where the the branches and the fruit start to come from. So getting that right is also a crucial part. And then you could look at some areas in the prepare phase, right? And this is the planning. We got to have that first creation, or we talked about the blueprint a little bit already, but vision crafting, we use a method called VAST. This is something that I borrowed from a gentleman named Rory Vaden, and I'm not sure if he borrowed it from somewhere else, but it's a fantastic way to visual, auditory, smell, touch. You're basically writing yourself a mini movie so you can play that movie in your head all of the time and visualize where you're headed. And that is really going to help you grow and get further faster. And then once you have that vision, as we talked about, you've got to put a blueprint down, right? So trying to look ahead and understand what challenges might be coming. And ultimately, yes, I'm going to say a bad word here, build a business plan. All right. A lot of people think that business planning is a bad word, but it's really not. It really is just an opportunity for us to create first in a more accountable, actionable way how we're going to get from point A to point B instead of just winging it. Because the reality is, even if you're quote unquote winging it, you're actually still planning, just not very well, right? You have to have a thought in your head before you'll take an action. So that thought, and then you take the action. Winging it just means that you're not actually putting much effort into your planning. And okay, nothing wrong with that. I understand that sometimes we do need to get ourselves unstuck by taking action. But how often do you want to just keep taking action that's really not getting you anywhere? So take a little time, make that action, look at your plan. And then we also talked a little bit about this already, but that marketing mastery, what's your unique value proposition? And all that means is, why would somebody buy from you compared to somebody else, right? And if you can't answer that question clearly and quickly, then you're going to have a hard time connecting with the right people, right? We have to understand who your target market is, what the messaging is that's going to attract them, but also attract the right people, right? I've talked to lots of business owners that are very busy, right? Have a lot of work, but they're not successful. They're not happy. They're not fulfilled, and they're probably not making, in fact, I know they're not making the money that they want to be making because they're connecting with the wrong people. So that's really important. And then let's break down the pollinate section, and we'll wrap this up, right? So uncommon mindset, the way we put this into effect is through this fundamental formula. And so now let's talk about the action phase here, the pollinate phase. So action implementation. What is your step-by-step strategy that you're going to bring your vision to life, that your blueprint for your business is going to be built? And how are you going to ensure that you're making progress each and every day? Again, the more we can do in a habitual way where it's just what we do, the easier that is to put on autopilot. And then you get your time back because you're doing it more creatively, more quickly, and with more vision of the future. So that action implementation is really building a strategic plan or an action plan, whatever you want to call it, is totally fine. And just making sure that you have a way to implement the actions that you believe that you need to take. And then, as I talked about, we need to have that framework for accountability. What's the systems? Not only, so sometimes we think of accountability as external, right? I need somebody else to help hold me accountable. Great. Awesome. Set that up. But honestly, at the end of the day, the most important person to hold you accountable is yourself, right? So what are the systems that you have? Are you measuring, right? Okay, what's my goal? What am I trying to get to? Or what's a milestone I need to reach? I need to grow my social media following. I need to start an email list. Okay, what are the milestones that I need to hit? And how are you tracking that so you know to make adjustments and move forward, right? That as it says on the screen there, ensuring your business continues to thrive. And then the section here, commit and growth. commitment and growth, excuse me. It really is just as simple as that, setting clear commitments. And then how are we going to ensure that there's growth there? So I've got a path strategy, and it really is nice because, again, instead of requiring hours and hours of work, sitting on the mountaintop, locking yourself away at a retreat, or again, those things are fine and great. And if you can do that, but if you can't, okay, that's fine. There's a way that we can spend 30 minutes a day and take some action on one of the areas of the fundamental formula here. And you're going to be much further, much faster than you ever possibly could have imagined. So there's the fundamental formula. Taking that with the uncommon mindset ideas, utilizing those uncommon mindsets to build this fundamental formula, that is the key to a business that you love. That's the whole big picture. What questions you guys have, again, I know this is recorded, but type them in the comments. I promise I will get in there and get back to them as quickly as I can here. But I want to also take this moment to challenge you guys, right? We talked about on Rising Tide Talks not too long ago, this idea of doing these challenges that'll help us get into action, and how we have to be a little bit careful with that. But if we set up the right kind of challenge for ourselves, those challenges push us to be better. So here's what I want to do. I'm calling it the challenge. Okay. The challenge. So here's my question for you. Would you like to achieve something faster, easier, and with less effort? Okay. Hopefully that is a duh question. Like, yeah, of course, Aaron. Why would I be listening to you otherwise? All right. So after that conversation we had a few weeks ago, I was like, man, I don't want to make sure that we're not doing any open-ended challenges that could get people in trouble. Yes, we have some other challenges, and I know they're going to work. The gratitude challenge, that's not open-ended. We're not asking you to do something way outside of your comfort zone, right? So I want you guys to challenge me. That's the first part of the challenge. And that challenge is coming up with a challenge that works for you. So I think the easiest way to do this is to start off with that SVP assessment that I mentioned before. And once we can get that call and have a better understanding together of your SVPs, your strengths, values, and passions, and then what your OSG could look like, your outcome, structure, and growth. Once we know that, then we can pinpoint something that will help you get there faster, easier, and with less effort. Now, I would guide you to find the right uncommon way of thinking to challenge yourself to do something different. And I want to make this easy. I'm going to challenge you to do it for 7 days. If you want to take it and run that even longer, I'm happy to be an accountability partner for you even longer. But for a minimum of 7 days, we're going to say, do this thing, whatever that is that we come up with, right? So you're challenging me to come up with the right challenge for you. I'm going to challenge you to do this thing for 7 days. And then if you take action, you are guaranteed results. That is the amazing part. If we take action, we are guaranteed results. You're guaranteeing yourself results. So if you're up for this challenge, again, go to osg.link/thank you. If you wanted to pause this and you've got a phone handy, maybe you're watching this on your computer, you can scan that QR code, but that QR code is going to take you to osg.link/thank you. So I'm excited to connect with you guys. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this in the comments, or better yet, like I said, let's challenge each other. I want you to challenge me to come up with a challenge for you. And the best way for us to do this is through this osg.link/thank you. All right. That's what I had for you guys today. Hopefully you see the big picture. Hopefully you understand how this could potentially look for your business. I think this is a great opportunity for you to just kind of step back, right? We're getting ready. If you're tuning into the version where this plays on October 5th, we're heading in the fourth quarter. It'd be a great time to just take a deep breath. Let's reset. Right? We can get this done together. I'm there to guide you. I'm there to help you take less time with this. Yes, you can take all this information that I just gave you, all the information from the other 10 weeks, and do it yourself. Perfect. I'm offering a free opportunity for me to utilize my superpowers to help you find the perspective that's going to actually get you there further and faster. So I'm not here to pitch or promote anything particularly other than I just want to connect with you. It fulfills me. It makes me happy. And if it's going to help your business, boom, high five. That's all I ask of you. Just give me a high five. All right. So hopefully for Small Business Saturdays, that's going to give you a lot of information that you can take in. Let me know what other things you'd like us to talk about. So from here, we're going to start getting into some more general topics or maybe even more specific topics. But we're going to go out there and ask in the Facebook group at osg.link/group and find out what it is that you guys want us to talk about. We got plenty of things that we can bring up, but we'll get back to our 3-pillar program starting next week. And we appreciate you joining us today. Now, as we wrap up, I would love to hear from you. What was the main thing that you took from this? What are you planning to implement? Or, just share what your biggest takeaways are. Maybe you've got something to add to this discussion that somebody else could use. Okay, put it in the comments. Share it. The more we share, the more we get back. Also, ensure that you're part of our community on Facebook, the Entrepreneur Success Hub. If you go to osg.link/group, just go there right now. Even if you're already in the group, go there right now. Just double check that you're in the group. And then when you're there, comment on one post, or better yet, start your own post. Ask a question, encourage somebody, say thank you to somebody that has helped you out along the way. Ask a question about equipment. Ask a question about marketing software. Ask a question about whatever, right? That's the awesome part. The more we engage, the more we're going to get. So I encourage you to go to osg.link/group. Until next time, stay motivated, stay focused, and don't forget to celebrate each win each day. And as I said, next week we are back to our normal programming. So whatever you guys want to discuss, that's what we're going to discuss. And also want to give a huge shout out to Kylene. She will be running a half marathon tomorrow as of the broadcast of this show. And Lewis and I are going to be out there celebrating her, being her road crew. And I'm not running this year. I didn't have time to train. I didn't make the time to train, excuse me. And so make sure you reach out to her and encourage her. And it's going to be a great day to celebrate Kylene and her accomplishments. Running a half marathon is not an easy feat. So we will, again, be back next week. So make sure you are part of all of the community there by engaging in the comments on the Facebook group, and just help your fellow business owners out and believe in yourself. As Kylene would say, we believe in you. Stay positive. Find something to be grateful for, because there's always something to be grateful for, and you will get there. We know it. We believe in you. High five, and we will see you guys next week.
Dark days, overwhelmed, trapped in a maze. Small business owner, stress had me in a daze. Every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke